poverty for my mom was mindset. You have your hand, you have your community, you have your family. Why are you poor? Okay? So poverty for mom was a concept, right? And I think that's something that I really took, that has been really driving me. And her leadership skills. Yeah, she's also a very tough woman. You know?
Hello there. Welcome to Transcending Boundaries. I'm Reeta Roy. Today, we're honored to host a visionary social entrepreneur and an advocate and champion for the transformation of urban informal settlements. He has spearheaded initiatives that have brought education, healthcare, clean water, and economic empowerment to millions of people in informal communities across Kenya. He has also co-authored several books, including Find Me Unafraid, Love, Loss, and Hope in an African Slum, providing a deeper look into his life and work. I am thrilled to welcome the founder and CEO of SHOFCO, a true champion of community-driven change, Kennedy Odede. Kennedy, welcome, and thank you so much for making the time to be here. We're just going to start by learning more about you and your childhood. I know, and I think our listeners know, that you grew up in Kibera in Nairobi. It's one of the largest informal settlements in the world. Tell us a little bit about that childhood, and tell us about how you experienced perhaps important moments in your life during your childhood.
Yes, so thank you. So I see myself as my family moved from western part of Kenya looking for opportunity when they were young, and they end up in Kibera slums, informal settlement, and it was tough, right? And so for me, I see myself as Kibera is part of me, because that, for me, that's what really kind of grew me, right? I saw so much love in Kibera. I saw so much community. I saw so much oneness, togetherness. At the same time, I saw so much hardship, right? So growing there, I learned a lot about creativity, right? Because as a kid, nobody could buy me toys. So we go take mud and make our own cars. So it was just amazing knowing your neighbors. But at the same time, poor sanitation. You get sick quickly, right? We used to live in a 10 by 10. Outside there is a running sewage, right? There is no toilets. People are struggling to get job. There is violence with the police, death is common, you lose your friends. You don't know. If you leave your house, you are not sure you're gonna make it back. And it also really make you, so it also make you feel like there's no future. So when enough was enough, that's when I ran away and I became a street boy. Right? And I was looking for escape, right? So being on the street was also tough, but it gave me more independent, right? Yeah, so I see myself as someone who has been really built, really, and feeling really Kibera is part of my DNA, right? So I used to be really sad and asking myself, why am I here? Why am I in this poverty, It was a tough thing. Growing up, that hardship.
It sounds incredibly tough in so many ways, and yet you spoke about love.
Yes.
Love around you. And I know there always are, in moments in our lives, people who are there, who are present, who come at the right moment. Will you talk about a couple of them?
Yes.
Please do.
Yes, so honestly, my time living in Kibera community, many people inspired me. I will not lie about that, because one thing that I really admire so much, I went to America, New York, but something powerful, Reeta, that I saw in Kibera, like, you are a child of so-and-so. So you are a child of everyone in the community. Like, for me, that's love. Because if you do something, they're like, it was not about your only child in your family. It's the Ubuntu spirit was in my community. So you felt a little bit there's a link. So that was really, really powerful. Just knowing that even though we have less, even though people look down on us, but there was something we had that you couldn't take away, which is love. Okay? And then this love goes deeper to someone who really inspired me mostly is my mother. My mom she's just an amazing woman. Never went to school. Had me when she was 15 years old. But never give up. And a couple of stories I learned from her even before I became a community organizer. She was the one doing organizing with women. Merry-go-round, her money was being stolen sometimes. She will never tell the group. She will go wash clothes, and bring back the money again. Nobody will know, right? That the money was taken away. And then she told me that if you see a snake, you don't have to wait to look for something to beat the snake. She said that whatever you have, beat the snake. For her, that any problem you face in your life, you don't have to wait. If you want to help, you don't have to wait to be rich. Okay? Oh, one day I'll be rich and I'll help people. Mom says no. If you can help people with what you have now, no way. So for me, I learned that values from her. Another thing is that as kids, neighbors could have some nice food cooked there because we live in a congested place, live in small places. So we were not allowed to eat at that people's house, which I found weird because we were hungry. We never had food. So mom will be like, go there in the house, put the cooking oil in your lips to look like you've eaten. I'm like, so I call that dignity. She's a lot of dignity. So I'll be hungry. And I'm like, mom, you have to survive, right? So so it's really, So I learned those qualities of leadership from her, right? Not giving up. And she never believed you are poor. You said, mom, you're poor, you're going to fight. Poverty for my mom was mindset. You have your hand. You have your community. You have your family. Why are you poor? Okay? So poverty for mom was a concept, right? And I think that's something that I really took, that has been really driving me. And her leadership skills. Yeah. She was a very tough woman, They say that. Yeah. Yes. So those are kind of the lessons I learned from her.
Yeah, I remember reading the book that Mom has some amazing quotes in your book and some amazing sayings. And she must have been, and she still is, a woman of great faith. But she has a wonderful quote to say that God's really busy. God's very busy looking after big problems.
Yes.
And that so you also have to help yourself
to
look after other problems.
Yes,
and
that,
which is a phenomenal thing about self-reliance and taking your own agency and applying your creativity. Now, there's also another woman who is important in your life, and that's your partner and your wife, Jessica. And together, both of you have really grown SHOFCO, your organization. How has she also shaped your outlook? What have you learned from Jess?
Wow, yes. This is very interesting. So I was, 23 when I met Jess. Now...
She came to be your intern.
Yes. Now I'm 40 now, So many years ago. So what happened was that I was a community organizer. I say what I took from my mother. So I organized community with SHOFCO, with a tiny youth group in the community. And I used to have one email that I checked once after a month, because I have to walk from Kibera to the city. So one day I got an email from this lady who wanted to come to work with SHOFCO. She had about SHOFCO. And I said, no, we don't want people coming to help us.
We're helping ourselves.
Helping ourselves.
Helping ourselves,
I believe that. Yeah, but she keep on insisting. So I have to go back. Something else I learned is that you cannot just make decisions. So I went back to our group. So there's this person keeping stopping me. She has done theater in America. We used to do a lot of performing art. So the leadership committee of SHOFCO, by then we were 20 something years old, 23. Some of them were 19. It was amazing structure we had. Okay, so she can come then to teach us and so we can write our stories. So that's how Jessica was able to come to Kenya to study abroad programs. And we will start working together. But I also feel like I learned that we're all human. We might come from different backgrounds, but if we really open our heart, we can learn a lot from each other. So without Jessica has changed me as a person, I'm somebody who had issues with trust.
Yes.
We've been abused now and then, right? With
Yeah.
the system, right? So I used to Jessica knows that. I used to didn't like anybody from elite. I know that's weird, right? I was like, nobody care about us in the poverty here. We live ourselves. We don't want anybody from outside. But here there's this American lady here, right? Yeah. So that was an eye-opening. And she was able to listen a lot, to understand us. She really listened, okay? And I love that she also told us how much she was learning from us. And that made her survive with us. Because this is somebody who come from a very good university, coming to a community and telling us, I'm learning so much on leadership, how organizing, that really made us so good. And Jessica and I work together. I am more people, grassroots.
Yes.
She is really detail-oriented. Sometimes drives me crazy. Because, it's true, it's interesting. Because the way SHOFCO started, it was not that thinking of, we don't want to think about the details. Because the details will remind you, there is no donor. Okay? You don't know how to write proposals. How can you sustain your organization? Okay? So for me, it was like, this is a movement we're doing now. But Jessica really concern was to make us think that way. So her coming into our life, into SHOFCO, really changed things a lot. And we ended up marrying each other from friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, a wonderful story, amazing story,
Yes.
actually, a beautiful one.
Yeah.
That's great. So what you're really talking about is how much all of us have to learn from each other, what we can teach each other, and what we can do together.
Yes, and also to change our prejudices. Even me, I was the person like, what's she coming to do here, right? I had also to relax, and learn. Really, really. So when you start seeing each other as human being, everything starts changing, right?
It does.
Because all these things is what I believe that nobody care about us. We are in the slum. We are in poverty, right? But really, you see, but somehow I never want to understand the other side of the story. When I started growing up and meeting some Kenyans who are doing well in life, they're telling me, but we were scared. How do we come to Kibera? We wanted to come to, right? So you see, so there's a lot of things that we assume. So all this is about just listening and understanding.
And understanding.
So that was Jessica taught me.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I want to go back for just a moment to the beginnings, actually, of SHOFCO. You made a comment a moment ago that when you were a little boy, there's no one to buy you toys. And yet the beginning of SHOFCO was with a toy, was with a ball.
Yes.
A soccer ball.
Yes.
Which wasn't a real soccer ball,
Yes.
but a homegrown made it's a soccer ball.
Yes.
Talk about that beginning. Why a soccer ball?
This is interesting. So my life is complicated and it's been a journey of optimistic and hope. So this is a young boy who was into drugs, useless, did not care about being killed or dying because poverty was so much painful.
You're talking about yourself.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and comes a time that everyone in our life, I'm sure, comes a time whereby we all ask ourselves, how are we living our life? And I feel lucky. I asked myself when I was 15 years old, right? This is too much, right? And we are all escaping. I was on drugs for escape. It was tough. I was escaping. Every time I was on my drugs, I was feeling like, woo, I don't feel anything until, but the reality keeps hitting me. So when I started reforming myself, because I believe that you will, and this is a challenge. We have leaders who want to be leaders, and yet they have not transformed themselves. If you don't work on yourself, you can't support other people. Okay? You need to deal with your demons. So my demons a lot. So now as a 15 years old, I stopped. And I knew it was hard for me to leave these addictions. So what I did, I fell in love with books.
And how did you get the books?
So I got this from our parish. There's a man from Ohio gave me these books. Then even if I have any money, I'll go to town and just buy books. It has to be a book that is inspiring. So I fell in love with Dr. King, right? So Dr. King, so really, I talked to them. This is a crazy part of me too. We didn't have mentors around, right? So for me, I read these books. I'm like, wow, what could Dr. King? If Dr. King was born in Kibera, what could he do? So I realized that Dr. King came from a small church in Alabama. I love that part. And then by that time, everybody, people of color really liked going to church and being together because they felt at home. Kennedy, what about you in Kibera? What do we love? We love soccer, the football. That's our thing. That's how Dr. King started from a church and something became beyond the church. So my dream was, can we start what we love already? The youth love playing soccer or football, whatever, right? So that's how I started this football. But I told them, listen, guys, this is just a way because we love this. We'll do tournaments, but we have a bigger deal, bigger thing. The future is this ball will be something bigger. So that's how we started. And then we could talk about our issues. We could do our own therapy. I realized that because of life of hustling, every young person was busy searching for job. So nobody. And I also lost my friend.
Yes.
From suicide. And he was been looking for me. I also busy hustling. So we never met. And then, it's gone. So that was powerful. That was really devastating for me. And I'm like, okay, we're not just playing. We sit on the circle. We share. We are here for each other. That's how SHOFCO started. And then where I'm working, there's a space for job. Oh, where I'm doing this, So it became a place where you get information. And you know that you are seen. You are seen. And you are not alone. Whatever happened to our friend will not happen to us. Because our friend has no one to talk to. So he took this life on himself, right? So that's how SHOFCO started. And that's why you see that up to now, our great ingredients is community, listening and being there for each other. Right?
And that sense of hope. And that's why SHOFCO is really about shining and hope.
Yes. And I was looking for this too. So we were in a struggle because some people wanted to call it Kibera stars, Kibera what. But I don't know if we can see the future without knowing. But I had a prediction. And I remember this is so funny. I said, why all these organizations coming here in Kibera? We also one day have an office in New York.
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
And now you do.
And I'm like, no. We're not going to have from Kibera to New York office. And we'll maintain our Kibera to be the headquarters. So we can't call it Kibera something because it's going to be bigger than Kibera. So that's how I love the word hope, shining up for communities. We are the hope. Okay? And then I believe that from my mother again, let's not worry too much of resources. Let's worry about trust with the community. Let's worry about being positive. And I believed, okay, if there is universe, if there is God, whatever is there, will be like, they're doing something good. Something good must happen to them, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Wow. Your mom is wise.
Yes.
Yeah. And what you're giving us a sense of is that there's hope, there's trust, there's love, there's seeing each other in this. So let's fast forward a little bit to the present. Today, SHOFCO is well known. You're well known. Yeah, you have more awards than I can remember, whether it's World Economic Forum, Time Magazine, Forbes, you're everywhere. And SHOFCO is seen and is admired, and people want to learn and to think about what they can do elsewhere in their own community and achieve and serve and still stay grounded, connected. What's your plan, your dream now for SHOFCO?
So let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
Awards and all those things that SHOFCO we have won. So it's something that I really try to keep up to now. And it's been helping me a lot to ground myself. And I think for me it's the most important thing. So growing up in Kibera, there's magic. I saw a woman who was going to the children's homes and giving food. This woman had nothing. I saw people helping. Someone one day I stole. I was stole a mango, and I was being.
And you were a little kid at that time.
Kid. I was not now. Okay.
Not now. You didn't steal mango yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little kid. I don't know, 10 or what, and I was beaten, and somebody came to stop them and paid for my mango and did me as shopping. But I don't know that person. I asked, who are you? Say, Good Samaritan. He left. So yeah, these are the stories that people were doing things in the communities, and their name will never appear on the newspapers. They will never get these awards. But for me, what was powerful was their actions are written in the people they are working with or supporting in their heart. Wow. So wherever we are doing, people who receive it and say, that's the award.
Yes. Yes.
That's the award. Okay, that is the real one. Somebody saying like, wow, I finished my school. I couldn't go anywhere. But I went to a TVET training. I went to college because of so and so, or because of this institution. For me, it is written. They will, even you have your own story where you talk about somebody will, many years ago, is the award that's written in your heart.
Yes.
That you work with.
Yes.
So for me, that will keep me moving. And I keep telling people, like, focus on kindness, on doing good to whoever you can do good to. That's the award. That's the most important one. You can have this big one, and deep down, you are in sadness.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I also try to encourage young people that, yes, we got awards, but SHOFCO be there for a while. Okay? A long journey start with a single step. And don't focus on what the world want to say about you. Focus on the impact that you can have on the people. The rest will happen when you are sleeping.
Yeah, that rest will come. But focus on what's so important. Boy, the way you're talking about this, it sounds like there are thousands of acts of kindness.
Yes.
That happen every day, but anonymously. That happen anonymously.
Yes.
Yeah.
That for me is the most important, Rita. People were helping the widows. People were helping the youth. People were helping the neighbors. Just be, hey, my neighbor, you left your door not closed. I closed it for you. There's this kindness that we forgot. And that's how the world become better. And I also learned something interesting later, that when you do good, there's a chemical that comes back. And I'm like, wow, I think that's why.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, you feel good, right?
It makes you feel good.
Let's keep doing good then.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? That's the feel-good drug that we need to be on by doing good.
Yes.
But come back to SHOFCO.
Yes.
At the heart is a school
Yes.
for girls. And connected to that school is healthcare for women. It's computer literacy for young men in the community and young women in the community. Talk more about this whole organization is powered by young people. It's for young people, by young people. And you've come to an amazing place where you are spreading beyond Kibera and across many different settlements, providing hope, but also enabling young leaders in those communities to learn, but to take charge and to look at what their communities need and to solve problems. Talk more about where you're going with this movement.
So this is very personal that to share with you quickly.
Don't be quick.
Okay.
Take your time.
My mother, no matter how much smart she was, she never got opportunity. We started a school for girls. I don't think I told people this, but I was seeing my mom and these children. What will happen to my little moms here who are being given opportunity? And this is going to be the leaders. So that really became really personal because I felt the way women were treated in my community was unfair. The way early child marriage, you know what I mean? If you have boys, you want to invest in a boy more than a girl in those times when I was there, right? And it was, yeah, it was really, I'm being honest with you, it was common. Just beat a woman. Just beat a woman. And people like, oh, I remember neighbors going say, hey, stop. We want to sleep, men saying. It's not about to beat, but we want to sleep when we are going for work, right? So this is really traumatized me. Like, why people behave like this, you know? But if you beat a man, people are like, are you crazy? why are you beating your husband, right?
They're totally different.
Right. So part of my life, and that's why I thank the universe that I went through this life, because it made me see things in a different, with feelings, with connection, right? So a school where centered around women, and then I don't forget the boys. I also love the boys so much, right? We have libraries. We have clean water for boy and girl can drink. We have these socio-economic activities. But change, when you touched a woman's life in any community, you are touching the entire village. When you touch the entire village, you are touching the entire country. You see, so that's kind of my concept. But from the Western way of thinking, women, they do not work for my community. No way. We have to move as a community. A school for girls, but also supports men and the boys. So nobody can attack the school. Up to now, nobody ever put fire or destroy that school, because everyone feels part of it.
Yes.
Okay? And if you have people ask me, SHOFCO, what is SHOFCO? For me, SHOFCO is what is real way of doing things in Africa. SHOFCO is what our great-grandfathers used to sit under the tree and find the solutions. We just took it to the next level. There's nothing unique. Our great-grandfathers used to listen. We used to solve problems. They used to care about dignity. Right? It's about trust. You can't work if you don't trust me, I won't work with you. That is our foundations. SAN, SHOFCO Urban Network. What is happening in Kibera is not the same in Mombasa. It's not the same in Kisumu. But we have to work with the locals. They have to organize themselves. What do you need? For example, I love this story. So when I go to a community in Kisumu, we're like, I don't know what to do here. They tell me, that event is bad. You see? No, don't take our kids there. But I say, what's the solution? There's one, that's the only good one, is this one. Because you listen. But you come from leadership of top down.
Yes, doesn't work.
You know everything. You say this event doesn't work. So I've been really loving, but people think it's unique. I tell them, no, this is African. This is a way of our tradition. This is how we used to lead. This is how we used to work. In our leadership, there was no lead. A leader used to be behind. Seriously, the leaders, go back to your grandfathers, the Kenyans and Africa knows this. They used to be they spoke last. They knew it's called service. Yeah? I love their stories. It is about service. Okay? And they have to get the list. And they will take everything and summarize. And everyone will feel. There was no signing agreement. People were shaking hands.
And that was their word. And they were heard.
Right?
Yeah. Well, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So when you advise other young leaders
Yes.
who come, whether they're in Kisumu or Mombasa or any other, or Matare, when they come and say, Kennedy, we want to do something similar. How can we learn? Where do we start? What do you tell them?
So we have grown by working with these leaders. If you go to Mombasa, if you go to Kakamega, you'll see that in other places, you see that SHOFCO, they're different. It's the sun, right? Because them. You have to start from somewhere. And I say them, and I love this because this is a thing that is in Quran, is in the Bible. Whoever has nothing, whatever they have will be taken away.
Okay.
Whoever has something, they'll be added on. What do you have? I had a soccer ball. I have a ball. So then they start thinking, so I want them to know they have something. Build on what you have. Don't go search. If you want to work in your community, you're a leader, whatever you're doing, what do you have? You are a CEO of a company, what do you have? If you are running an institution, what do you have? People always forget that. Because for me, is to build on what you have. You can't build from zero, right? If you want to find, and young people start being like, oh, wow. And honestly, they do it.
They do it.
Because we have been, we're in the world whereby we see social media. We see the new SHOFCO now, right? And you're like, oh my God, look at SHOFCO, wow. But you forget it started in the slums with nothing in the middle of Kibera slum. But what was there was hope. And hope is built on what you have. And then you dream for tomorrow.
That's powerful.
Yes.
That's powerful. I was going to ask you, how do you stay grounded as a leader, and how do you ensure that your organization stays grounded? When people come saying, you're wonderful, you're fantastic, we want to give you another award, we want to do another show, we want you to write a book, and yet the truth is staying grounded.
Yeah.
How do you tell them
So there's
to do that?
there's a couple of things that are happening that, again, that I took from our Ubuntu spirit, which you know what Ubuntu is, right? Is that you don't have to fight for leadership. Leadership is not about fighting. Leadership is something you earn. Hey, I'm a leader. My friend, you're not a leader.
That's
Leadership is trust, Rita. The way you move, the way you do your things, people has to be like. But what I've learned is that you have to be conscious, be aware. I see myself as a founder. I see myself as someone who will be lucky to go to study abroad. So I have to give so much. So which means while my team, I have to make sure my team is pushed. My team also get the light. But I have to, every time I go this award, I have to go back to my team and tell them, it's you. Without you. It is true. I couldn't get this, So just remember that, I know it's bad to say this, but it's good to remember that you are not that special, or Kennedy, right? We are not that special. Because when you have that, we are not that special. But somehow, there are people who have worked hard to make us where we are. If they stop what they're doing, we fall.
Yes.
So to remember them, right? So for me, I put myself grounded by just reminding myself. It's easy, I won't lie to you. I go and meet with these famous people. Oh, wow, I'm Kennedy. Remember why you started SHOFCO. Okay, I got it now. Okay. So let's go back. It's good to walk forward, but take our step back and think, why did we start? Why did you put your first step, second step? It's very interesting. It will take you somewhere interesting. Because the more you go, you're achieving. The more you achieve, you will forget where you started.
Yes.
So every time I remember, Kennedy, why did SHOFCO start? Was it for glamour? Was it for you to get awards? And then that takes you back. And then knowing that you are not building anything for yourself. This is for future generation. Because you are just passing by. So how do you make sure you are create the leaders who will continue? So for me, I ground myself by remembering you are a street boy. You had nothing to eat. You were beaten for stealing mango. So you did not work hard to be this. So remember, and are you fulfilling what you started? So that really makes me humble. And then, of course, my mom and my wife, they would allow me.
My
mom
way.
says this. My mom is like, don't have a big head. And I say, Mom, what's the problem with the big head? You have a big head, too heavy, and you will fall.
Very practical.
I know about that.
Very practical. To do that. No, that's fantastic. Kennedy, we were talking about how busy you are now and how much, there's so much work to be done, so much more to be accomplished. And of course, you don't do it alone.
Yes.
But how do you find those small, quiet moments within yourself? And how do you find a way that works for you to have that balance, in the busyness and yet the quiet, to see where you're going, to make sure that Kennedy is still grounded? How do you do that?
So right now I have 3 children under the age of 6, and it is a lot, and a lot of joy. And you also realize that if you just keep work, you will lose time with them. So you have to do all these things together, the holistic. And I think you and I are having coffee, we discussed that. And I agree, it is about finding peace wherever you are, right? In my office, I have a small picture of my children, all right? So I'll be in a Zoom, but I feel connected. Okay, so I'll be in a holiday, but I can still do some work. So I think you got it. So it's all about knowing that the work will always get heavy and heavy and heavy. The age does not wait for Kennedy.
Yes.
Right? Remember that. I remember that. I try to remember that all the time. The age doesn't wait. So do I want to leave SHOFCO and then be like, oh, when I'm done with SHOFCO in the next years, whatever, then I will have peace of life. So right now I am working, and it's a step by step. It's not easy, and every day I think I'm getting better. And how work is, we're in the ocean. Are we together?
We're in the ocean. We're
in
together.
the ocean, and there is a wave.
Yeah.
Sometimes high, sometimes down. Okay, can we just stand still in that boat or ship and just let we go with the work, but we still enjoy?
Incredible. I feel like I'm being in a masterclass on leadership, on life, on how to think about balance, and think about service and what it means to lead, which is leading from behind and letting others shine and let their work speak for themselves. That's phenomenal.
And there's something else that's interesting, leading from behind. People, I feel bad for people. People don't get secret. There's more you get than people think. You know what? Jealousy goes down.
Jealousy goes down. Yes.
Why is jealousy? Oh, Kennedy, I'm cool. Okay? Kennedy, if you're humble, humility, okay? More people try to connect with you. Even your team. Jealousy starts coming if you start thinking you're important. You attract that negativity. The more you're humble, I remember I was with you somewhere in a conference. Oh my God, I can't believe you're Reeta. You see? If they had Reeta, would be like, but when they see you, like, oh, what? I can't believe. So that happened to me, Reeta, also with me. People come and say, I can't believe the guy who was on the Times. I'm like, you see? Because that was jealousy already being built. Okay? But if you are really grounded, you attract less negative energy. Because we are working together.
I love your book. And I love the storytelling. And of course, you have a chapter, then Jessica has a chapter, and you go, and along you go. Talk about the process of writing and what it took to reflect on your stories. And maybe it came easy because you have all these amazing things which your mom taught you. But talk about that process and what it did for you.
So Reeta, the book, I was 25 or 26. Whoa. So now I don't know what. Right? Can just forget about that. We wrote the book. And where was the book? The book for me was a story of hope to other people who are going through something in life, to learn from that you never know the future. You don't give up in life. And then use your life. And don't say, as my mom said, don't be like, I'm going to be rich, to be educated, to do something. Start doing something. Get the chemistry of doing good, kindness. We talk about that, right? So the book, two things from the book for me. One was that. Another one, it was my therapy. Because whenever I went through in life, I blocked. It was too painful, some of them, right? So when I was reading the book, there was a moment I was crying. There's a moment I cried a lot. And then I thought about myself. I said, okay, you know what I'm going to do? This book is not about telling people, this leadership, what? The book, from my perspective, it's a movie. I'm taking you to my life. So don't judge me. You walk with me. So I said, Reeta, come. Kedi in Kibera. Kedi going to fetch water. Kedi. So you can see even what I used to think of is there. So the book was more like, walk with me. I show you my journey. Not that my journey is the best. No. Think about that again. My journey is not the best, but this is my journey. So you just sit down and watch and walk with Kennedy. Okay? That was the book. So I need to take you again to the Kennedy with the gray hair now.
Yes. Youthful as ever, though. Youthful.
Yeah. So, and then writing a book is difficult. Whoever wants to write a book, my piece of advice, don't wait to get urgent, to get people to help you. They can't help you enough. I was lucky in university. I took English classes for memoir. So I compiled things. So every day you wake up, every day you're free, a notebook and a pen, write something. Then one day, who knows, take those pieces. But if you're waiting one day to start writing a book, my friends, I'm sorry for you. Okay?
Too difficult.
Just start writing things slowly by slowly. Because New things are happening every day, right? So anything you feel is important for you, write it down. So I think for me that was very powerful. So then you just find out to compile those moments into a book.
Yeah, but the moments take you, you're right, the moments take you to your life, accompany your life. And they also probably, when you read them again, you see something new.
You see?
See something new.
Yes.
all the time. It's wonderful, wonderful. Kennedy, if there's so many messages just from our conversation here, but if there's one thing you would love someone to hold on to, who's listening, who may watch this, what would it be? Somebody who maybe they're struggling, maybe they're in a different part of their journey, maybe they're doubting their own leadership, maybe they just want to begin to be in service. What's one thing you'd advise them to do?
I think, Reeta, this is interesting because people are all looking for solution from outside. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Go deep inside yourself. Talk to yourself. Talk to your soul. It is in you. Whatever you're going through, whenever you're thinking of, whenever you see as a struggle, it is in you. It is in you. What I ask them to do, take your moment, go deep. Because most of the time, Reeta, we know we have the answer, we know we have the way, so we have the solution, but we are scared. So I will look for this person. I will look for example, when I was on stress with drugs, right? I could go to a therapist or a friend or a priest, right? But we do that because we are not ready also. So when you took the next steps, it has to start from you first. The rest will follow. Yes. Even to say that you are going through something, you want to make something, already there's a seed. Because you can't think about it if you're just living. So for you to identify that there's something in me, there's something I'm going through, there's something that's still that there is a seed in you. Inside, go back to it again. And if you go back deep, you will see the light.
Kennedy, one of the most powerful things you said was the spirit of Ubuntu, that it has been present from time memorial across this amazing continent of Africa. That is how communities came together, tried to solve problems, and sometimes we need to return to those values, to those principles. So when you think about, you're in Kibera, you're in Kenya, you're all over the place, actually. You're all over this world. What would people, or what should leaders, big leaders, small leaders, all of us, call upon when we think about what this continent can do for herself and what we can share with others in terms of changing our conditions, improving our lives, improving the lives of others? How do we go back to think about what is here for us as leaders?
So Reeta, what really gives me happy when I think about our home, the African continent, is to be alive in this moment. Because I read books, I love history, and Africa has been portrayed negatively, right? But Reeta, the Africa of today, wow, just to see, I travel. There'll be no economic discussion, even in New York, London, that will not mention Africa. Young population, smart, who are saying they're coming in with a new way of thinking. Look at the startups that are coming in Africa, and look even at how people view Africa now. It's really changing. Okay? Why? The youth of Africa. I look at Senegal, right? I'm like, wow, what's happening? I look at Kenya when the youth feel that this is their country, right? So in the years to come, I think Africa is for power already with the resources, knowledge, and what is already happening, right? The innovative that's going on in Africa. So I think that with the hope of these young leaders coming in, as you can see.
Everywhere.
Yes, everywhere, right? We are heading somewhere. And I love it. You know why again? They also realize that we can't go with the old way of thinking.
That's right. Say more about that.
Yes?
Say more about that.
It's no longer about charity. It's no longer about starving Africans. It's now business. Okay? It's no longer about dictatorship. It's no longer about few people controlling Africa. It's now Africa for all of us, the youth. Everyone feel part of it, you know? So I see the way things are done in Africa before is shifting. The time is changing. And this generation, they have taken over social media.
They have. Totally.
Right?
Totally.
They have taken over technology, you know? So the way they communicate, you know? So I see that we're going to see a lot of things happening in the continent, you know? And I want to thank our youth, honestly. It's this generation of young people. They're the one driving it. And even the labor, the work. Yeah, so I have a prediction.
Tell us what is this prediction?
It will be hard to get to Africa.
It'll be hard.
Yes, right now, they say it's hard to go to, America. Believe me, I think in our lifetime.
It'll be hard to come here.
Hard to come to America.
It's too competitive to come here. That's
But
good.
I can see that because what's happening in Africa is magical. There is a wind of change. There are things happening that Africa is the place to be.
That's right. That's right. That's wonderful.
Yes.
That's a wonderful image.
Yes.
And in that same spirit,
Yes.
where is SHOFCO going? Where is
Wow.
SHOFCO going?
Yeah, so SHOFCO now is talk about the youth. You know, we are really working to really partner with the government to ensure also we have these voices of the youth, of the people to be on the table. That's what we're working on. So right now, in Vihiga County, Nairobi County, we work with this county government to ensure they listen to the people. Okay? I know they want it, but they don't know how. So our job is to bring these voices to them, right?
Yes.
To make sure which TV doesn't work. Why? Okay? Work on the policies, right? And I see we're going to have leaders in the country who are more aware, who are more engaging, who talk to the government in a way that they feel listened, right?
Yes.
And the African youth again, as I work with SHOFCO around the country, they want to be listened. They have a lot to do for the country, but they want to be listened,
Yes.
and we are working on that too.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Being at the table,
Being at the table.
your voice is heard, but
Yes.
most importantly, action. Action that follows. Yeah. That is terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kennedy, for your leadership, for your inspiration, for your energy, your good humor, the wise things that you share with us from your mom.
Yeah.
Thank you. From street child to multiple Time 100 award winner, from community leader to global advocate for change, from personal struggles to family success, from Kibera to the world stage, Kennedy Odede's life reads like a remarkable narrative of rising from the most challenging beginnings to becoming a beacon of hope and change for millions. His journey is not just a personal triumph, but a powerful testament to the impact of community, local solutions, and resilience in the face of adversity. Indeed, Kennedy Odede is truly transcending boundaries.